Businesses must now perform same-sex weddings. If you're a photographer, if you're a caterer, and you're asked to do a wedding, and you say, no, I have a moral objection to it, you can be fined for it. It's happened already. It's even outside of Massachusetts happened. It happened in New Mexico, where a photographer said, find another photographer. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Here's someone else you could call on. He was sued and had to pay a $5,000 fine. I was at a debate in Charlotte where we were debating the amendment, which just passed in Charlotte in North Carolina. I was debating a homosexual attorney on this. The room was filled. There was 600 people in the room. 550 were against me because it was put on by National Public Radio, so mostly liberals listened to that, so they all showed up. And I mentioned this instance to him. I said, should that person have been fined $5,000? And he wouldn't answer, but somebody in the audience said, yes! This is not live and let live. Adoption agencies must now provide children to homosexuals. There were about 90 adoption agencies in Massachusetts at the time. Catholic Charities had one, and they said, look, we have a moral objection to this. We cannot give children to same-sex couples. There are 89 or so others. Could you just give us an exemption and let the 89 or so others be able to give children to homosexual couples? And the state of Massachusetts said, we're so sorry. The law of the land here is same-sex marriage, so no, you have to give children to same-sex couples. What do you think Catholic Charities did? They shut down. They left. Same thing in District of Columbia. They left. To their credit, they left. But what's going to happen if it goes nationwide? No more Catholic adoptions. Religious liberties are being usurped. This is even outside of Massachusetts. Have you heard of this young lady? Jennifer Keaton was expelled from Augusta State University in Georgia counseling program for biblical natural law views. They didn't like the fact that she was against homosexuality, and she refused to submit to a homosexual remediation plan. They told her that in order to graduate, she had to go to gay pride events. She had to basically attend counseling. Can you say Big Brother here? And she refused. It's in court right now. Same thing happened at Eastern Michigan University. This is Julia Ward. She was expelled from EMU counseling program. And the reason she was expelled because she wouldn't affirm the client's homosexual behavior, but would instead refer to such clients to other counselors. In other words, she said, if somebody were to come to me and say, I'm a homosexual, I want to be affirmed in my sexual orientation, she said, look, I can't do that, but I have a counselor here who could. Why don't you call that person? And they said, no, that's not good enough. Either you toe the line or you're expelled. That's in court as well. Alliance Defense Fund. This is Kai Feldbaum, a lesbian activist appointed by President Obama to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Here's what she said in the inevitable conflict between gay rights and religious liberty. I'm having a hard time coming up with any case in which religious liberty should win. There are two trains on one track heading toward one another. One is called same-sex marriage and the other is called religious liberty. One is going to give way to the other. Now, I personally think that if you're a loving person, you're going to tell people the truth and support the truth despite any consequences that might come to you. If Christians don't start speaking up, our very ability to speak the truth will be silenced. You know, we couldn't do this seminar in Canada? Did you know that? Did you know we cannot broadcast this in Canada? This little talk right here. Any talk which is in any way considered negative against homosexual behavior is outlawed. You think I'm making this up, don't you? In Sweden, they've already jailed a pastor for quoting from the Bible. This is all live and let live, right? No, it's not. It's not live and let live. Now, if you really want to love the people who you are friends with who are homosexual, you'll tell them the truth. And one of the things you can say to them is the first thing that a pastor friend of mine was asked a question, What would happen to you if your child came to you and said, I'm a homosexual? Do you know what the pastor said? Son, daughter, whatever, there is nothing you can do that will make me stop loving you. Nothing. So fine, you want to say that you're going to act on these feelings you have? Fine, you're going to do that. I'm going to keep telling you you're going to hurt yourself and others. Don't do it. But that's how I love you. I'm not going to push you away. I'm not going to ostracize you. I'm just going to tell you. There's nothing you can do that will make me stop loving you. If you truly love people, you will tell them the truth. And everybody in our hearts knows what the truth is. Same-sex relationships are not the same as heterosexual relationships. They never can be. They never will be. They're just different. So don't treat them as the same. They're not. Now, you want to call me intolerant, you want to call me a homophobe, you want to call me a bigot, go right ahead. That's the truth.